Hey guys, thank you for joining. If you don't know, my TikTok name is Lost Drifters, and that's where most of you are following me from or learning about me from there. And today, I actually have a guest. Her name is Leah Ashley on TikTok, and I think you guys might know her as my girlfriend, correct?
Maybe, just
Maybe,
maybe.
just maybe, yeah. If you could do me a favor, check us out on YouTube, check our merch out. We have Amazon links on there too, so you guys can find out what it is we wear or do every day, and you guys can check them out for us. But that being said, today's podcast is the big question that we get asked 99% of the time on TikTok, and it is, how did we meet? And how did the whole relationship happen? How did it get to this point? So I'm going to be kind of grilling her today, which is kind of cool. But you also get to hear my 2 cents too. But basically, TikTok started it all. And we'll kind of start from there, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you? Who are you? And what do you do on TikTok?
I'm Leah Ashley.
That's correct.
And basically, I just make content on TikTok and work on some merchandise in our shop and spend time with my kids and you.
This is her first time doing a podcast, by the way, guys, so she might be a little nervous. What were you before that?
I was a family therapist before that.
And that's how we met, because you were a family therapist. Well, not because of that, but you were a family therapist, and then I was doing my job out in Arizona at the time.
Yeah.
But we were both making TikToks because of COVID.
We were both home.
Yeah. Well, you were home. I wasn't home.
True.
Yeah, I was in Arizona. So I'm in Arizona, finally getting like TikTok fame and everything, but not really.
Your whole, 5,000 followers.
Yeah, so we were like, that's the funny thing, we were talking about that today, about how I remember the first time my TikTok was like, I got 99 notification, and I was so hyped, and it was just like, holy cow. Like, the moment that happened, you're like, this is it, this is fame, and you wake up the next day with like 200 more followers, and you're like, oh, well, it was still cool.
It was cool.
But I made a TikTok that had Rewrite the Stars in it and Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yeah.
So you saw that. What were your first thoughts when you saw that?
Honestly, my first thoughts were, damn, his eyes are gorgeous.
Yeah, you said that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, like, instantly drew me in, and I'm like, I can duet this. This is duetable. I'm a girl.
So that's what you thought when you saw that. Interesting.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, I was like, this girl like me, or is she just duetting me because it's a good song? Which is the case you always wonder when you're actually, I guess, single. You're like, does she like me, or is she just liking it because she likes it? And then basically we did that duet together, and then I noticed that she was a Game of Thrones fan because of her name at the time. If you guys remember her.
OG.
The original OG people know you're Mother of Dragons.
Yep.
Which is off Game of Thrones, but also because she had 3 kids. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So then you made that, or you saw that I was trying to do to Jaime Lannister. I sent you a DM, I think. Or did you DM? No, I liked your stuff first.
Yeah, you went through a whole bunch of my videos, and I had a crap ton of notifications, and they were all from you. And I was like, well, he's digging. So I messaged him, and I was like, well, someone's spam liking my stuff.
Yeah, that was the very first DM you sent to me.
Yep.
Your very first words to me was, someone spam liking. That's funny.
With a hand over mouth emoji.
Yeah, so then what did I say back?
You're like, true, but it's just some great content.
Was that true?
Yeah.
And what'd you say after that?
Thanks. I can appreciate that.
Cocky.
Yeah. And then you're like, take it, you love Games of Thrones. And then my smart ass was like, what's your first guess? Because my username back then was Mother of Dragons.
Yeah.
So I was being a smart ass. I was like, what was your first guess?
So this is where she started to win me over. So I was trying to do that scene where Jaime Lannister is talking to Brienne of Tarth about, by what right does the wolf judge the lion? And I couldn't hear what they were saying. And I was like, hey, could you help me? Because she's a Games of Thrones fan. And also I was trying to see if she would get it. Did I tell you that I couldn't hear it? I had a hearing impairment?
Not at first. All you said was you couldn't make it out, so I sent you what they were saying. And then after that, you said, I'm deaf in my left ear, and the subtitles weren't picking it up.
Yeah. The reason I go back to that, guys, is I saved that. I copied what she wrote out for me and saved it. I still have it in my phone to this day, and I haven't deleted it. It's one of them, it's just a message in there that I was going to send, but I never did. And it's still there. Like, I show her that all the time. Like, every now and then I'll be like, you see this? That was the first time you tried to help me. And because I couldn't hear it, you were just so willing to do it, regardless of, like, not knowing or knowing if I had a hearing impairment. But now I know you didn't know.
I didn't know yet.
Then I told you.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say after that?
I said, you're so welcome. And then I told you to let me know when you put it up so I could do Brienne.
And she did. Almost instantly.
Immediately.
That's when I was like, okay, I think she likes me. That's what went through my head. How did you feel about messaging me? How did you feel about that whole process?
Well, I mean, if you know me, which a lot of our followers do, I'm a very blunt person. So I was just like, I'm going to call him out. Worst thing he's going to do is turn me down.
Oh my goodness. And then the first thing we talked about, like we were saying, was Games of Thrones. That's kind of interesting. So TikTok brought us together. Games of Thrones was our conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did that duet. Do we have anything else after that? Yeah, I sent it to her immediately to the duet.
Yeah. I asked you if you were an actor. And you said that you wished you were.
Yeah.
And I said, you should be.
Oh, she did say that. I remember that now.
Yeah. And then I asked for your Snapchat.
And that's where, honestly, I was like, because I thought that was going to go somewhere that I did not want it to go, which was just, she wanted to see what I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we talked, like, really late that night.
Yeah.
And then we went to bed, and I still remember the first thing that morning you texted me. That very next morning.
I did?
Yeah.
Man.
Well, you Snapchatted me.
Snapchatted
And you were like, I Snapchatted you back, and you were like, are you up and ready already? I'm like, no, I just rolled over and Snapchatted you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember her asking me what I wanted or what I was looking for. And she was the first girl, when I gave the answer back, that was like, I understand that. I feel that. Like, legitimately, she said something around that. And I was like, okay. First question answered, that I needed to know that she was, like, understanding where I was coming from. And then do you have anything from our Snapchat history at all?
I can only see my side on Snapchat. A lot of goofing around at first. And then I told you the next day, like, your voice was very, very soothing to me. Because I watched your live that night. And I was like, I just want you to know, like, your voice is so soothing.
If you guys only knew how much I got made fun of, you would not, you could feel and see my, like, happiness. Like, you have no idea how hard or annoying it is to talk and then just hear people constantly make fun of it. And now I'm at the point where I really don't care, but to hear from a loved one or someone I love that, you know, hey, you have a good voice or a soothing voice, meant a lot. It really did. After that, we gave each other our phone numbers because once I knew she had an iPhone, which, Bella, I say this in all honesty, whatever phone she has, try to copy it, because I'm telling you, having the iPhone was just perfect. We could video time each other, and this isn't an ad for Apple because I don't get paid for Apple, but, like, literally being able to talk to you FaceTime, that helped out a lot, because once we were able to FaceTime, we knew we weren't fake, but, like, it's nice to see somebody who's authentic and real.
Yeah.
Because, like, we were both starting to fall for each other a little bit by bit, because of the things we would say. And then, like, I don't know, something, I know I said along the lines, like, well, maybe you should have been treated like that all the time. And then she was like, boy. Like, I remember her being like, boy.
Yeah.
Like, in a good way, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about over there? And then, we definitely kept talking and talking. And we were trying to figure out when we could fly out to see each other. Now, she almost flew out to see me first, which was kind of crazy. But I think New York stopped that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, New York stopped you from coming out there. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't leave this job and then come see you, then come back, not safely or without getting stuck in the quarantine zone as well for New York. So we keep talking, we keep FaceTiming, we're communicating to each other, talking about past relationships and what we're looking for in a relationship. That was key.
Yeah.
I think we were both so tired of all the other BS that we were like, listen, blunt, this is what I want, this is what I like.
If you're not it, take a step back.
Yeah, like, and then we were just like, the biggest thing we both wanted was communication and no fighting. Now, we both knew as adults there's going to be times where we argue or disagree, but we had both been in situations where it escalated to where it should not have, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we were just tired of that. Yeah. She's just nodding, like smiling and nodding right now. Because, like, for real, that was the biggest thing. So, how many months go by before I could see you? I saw you in May, right? Yeah, May. Yeah.
No. It was June, the first time you came out.
I thought it was May.
Mm-mm.
It was
June
June?
7th.
June 7th?
Yeah.
So...
was when you flew in.
What is our anniversary, what day is that? That's just when we both decided to be with each other?
We don't have an anniversary because we were just like, are you talking to anybody else? No. Are you talking to anybody else?
Yeah,
no.
That's how it got to that point. Well, I told her, I remember this. I was like, listen, I know you might not be ready for this or you might not want to do this yet, and I understand that, but I'm like, I'm not going to talk to anybody else now. Like, everybody else, no, it's just you. I'm going to focus on you because I really want to see where this goes. And then she followed my lead after that, kind of like said the same thing. We both did it on our live because people were trying to figure out who we were dating because we were both starting to say, yeah, we've been talking to this awesome person. And even then we were talking, like she would be on live and I would send her inappropriate stuff and she would have to keep a straight face and she would do it to me.
That was our game in the beginning.
It still is kind of when
Whenever
we're separated.
We're live, we have to keep a straight face
Yeah.
because you can see the text in the background and you have to keep a straight face and
Unless-
not break it.
Unless family or the kids are around, we never do it. But if it's just her on live, that's what I do.
And if it's just him on live,
Yeah.
back of his phone is ridiculous.
So, I don't know if you guys know this. So I'm finally done with my work, my event. I'm like, hey, I want to fly straight to see you. Are you okay with that? And she was like,
yeah.
So I'm like, hey, there's only one flight to where I get there that day or that morning. And because of COVID, a lot of flights were down and everything. I said, I will fly out, but I'll have to fly out at 11 p.m. I won't get there till 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was already nervous, just like she was nervous. Because, like, we had FaceTime, we had said all these things. And there was a lot of things we were nervous about, like, what if we hate each other? What if we don't like kissing? What if we don't click?
Yeah.
All
that
the
was
naughty
my
stuff.
biggest anxiety was like, what if we meet and this whole time the texting, the FaceTime's been great, but we just don't click in person.
Yeah. I was worried about it, I won't lie, but honestly, I was just like, there's no way for this to click and move that well and feel that authentic. There was just like no way.
Spoiler alert, it clicked.
So I'm getting off the flight. It's like 8 a.m. I have my mask on. I am exhausted because sleeping on a plane is not easy. And I had one layover.
Yeah.
I think I flew to South Carolina or North, and then I had to fly to, or was it Atlanta? I'm trying to remember where it was. But anyway, the next morning, getting to her was rough. And I'm at the security gate. If you guys have ever been to the Syracuse airport, they have the security gate where you have to wait and each person gets to walk through. Well, as I'm waiting there, I can see through the glass that she's there. I see her. And this same dress is on your link tree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this same dress, breathtaking, gorgeous, like a red maroon color.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see her there with her mask on. And the thing is, once you meet Leah and you know her, you can see when she smiles with her eyes, kind of just like me. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is it. So I walk up to be the next one to the security door, right? And they close automatic doors. My door's not opening. And I'm like, nah, this door better open. I'm about to kick it. And then finally the door opens. I walk up to her. And what were you thinking the whole time? What did you think? Did you see me immediately?
Yeah, I could see you walk out from the airplane, like from the, I don't even know what it's called.
So you saw my airplane land?
I didn't see the airplane land, but I saw you walk from the hallway.
Oh, from that hallway
to the door.
Yeah.
I could see.
What were you
from
thinking?
There. Like that's him. Like there's no mistaking that's him, and I was just like, God, I hope he likes me.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, what if I'm a bad kisser? Maybe he won't like that. Maybe I shouldn't kiss him yet.
And then I walked up to her, and I think we said hello.
We were like, hi, shaky, and both like weirdly, awkwardly nervous.
Yeah.
But we just kissed.
Yeah.
You dropped your bag.
Yeah.
I remember that. Your backpack. You dropped it.
You're right.
And you took your mask off of one side. And kissed me.
Yeah. It's a really good moment, guys. I'm not tearing up. You are.
And then you're like, well, we gotta go get my bags.
Yeah. And then we went and had coffee because she told me her coffee order and I wrote it down, but her coffee order is complicated. I'm not even going to lie to you. And then we got coffee and we talked for a while. And then we kind of just hung out. Like, it was really, really authentic. The first night she stayed with me, though, this is a kind of a side story. She thought people were shooting each other outside.
I really did because we were in such like a unknown area to me at the time. It was downtown Syracuse, and if you know anything about downtown Syracuse, you just don't know.
Anyway, I'm like, it can't be. And she's like, Eric, I'm positive. So I get up, and I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, there ain't nothing going on. And then finally they keep going and going, and then I'm like, and she's not sleeping. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to die, so I'm going to call and make sure there isn't anything going on. And we call the front desk, and the front desk is like, that's fireworks, sir. And I look at her, and I'm like, those are fireworks. And she's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, hey, thank you for answering for me. We hung up. The next thing we hear, fireworks for sure. And she's like, yeah, that's fireworks.
Yeah, it's fireworks. Good night.
And then she fell asleep. After that, what happened? Do you remember? Not that. Not that. Stop. Not that. What happened after that? Do you remember?
That next morning?
No, I mean, like, what happened after I met your family?
Oh, yeah. You came over. I introduced you to my mom and dad and my siblings. And we kind of did, like, an outside thingy, right? We were all outside.
Mm-hmm.
And they just goofed around, and you talked to them, and they talked to you. And
the biggest thing was how quiet your mom was. And now seeing her actually talk to me, I get it. Like, she's not a quiet person, but it took her so much to open up to me, kind of.
Yeah.
In a way, or, like, to be okay with me.
Yeah.
Where Mark was instantly like, just treat her right, dude. Like, I could get that vibe so quickly. Yeah. Now, her sibling, Terrell, was like, cool dude. Abigail was like, I'll kill you. I said Abigail, Aaliyah. And, oh, yeah, now I know why I said Abigail.
That's what you call her, basically.
Yeah, and then Cass was just sweet, very nice. Kyle was like, I don't know what's going on. If they're listening to this, they might get a kick out of that.
But yeah, all of them.
It was really awesome. So then I'm like, this is how much she impressed me. I'm like, you want to come meet my mom? And she, with no hesitation, said yes. So then I flew out here with her.
We flew back to Tennessee together.
Yeah. You got to meet my mom.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on my mom?
That she was super sweet.
Yeah.
And so open and, like, just loving right away.
Yeah. I swear, man, if you guys ever get to meet my mom, if you do anything to upset her, you must have done something so wrong, man. You have no idea. But yeah, I remember thinking, please, because she did not like my last ex at all. And, like, she's never been that type to be like, oh, I don't like her. Like, you had to do something. And she loved Leah. She was like, that is just, she's so sweet. And so, the other thing, she was like, she's so caring and compassionate. And a lot of things that you hear me echo is a lot of things she said about you too. You know? Yeah. So then you get to meet my mom. You get to see where I live and everything. She loves it, by the way. Loves Tennessee. If you guys can make her famous, I think she can move here. So let's work on that. Please share this. Help me out. Help me out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. None. And then after that, we went to, I think you had to go back home, right?
I flew back to Syracuse. Yep.
Yeah.
And you stayed here but we had advanced tickets. We had a plan to fly back and forth to each other, but your work called. And they were like, hey, we need you back.
And before I continue that part, you're going to hear a quick ad. Please listen to it. It pays me very... All right. So, work calls me back. Literally, we're supposed to see each other in like 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
In 2 days. And they're like, hey, we need to fly you out on the 4th of July.
Yep.
I specifically remember that, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I drop everything. I think it was 4 days. Yeah, it was 4 days before I had to fly out. So I tell Mom I love her, but I'm going to go see a girl, which she knows who it is. But I literally said it just like that, if you've ever seen Good Will Hunting, which she hasn't, by the way. And, yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to pack everything up, go see her, and then have work fly me out of New York. Which, at the time with COVID and everything, it was very complicated. So I drive 13 hours to see her. And then we celebrate kind of like the 4th of July a little early, I think, with your parents.
Yeah, we kind of had like barbecue and stuff
on
like
the
that
3rd,
with my mom.
Which made me so sick. My Lord. What got me through that night, I will never forget that. You loving on me and like giving me space and whatnot whenever I didn't feel good. And then just watching this documentary about how great America really is for immigrants from like back in the day. Like when, who's your governor?
Cuomo?
His grandpa or his dad was in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of interesting to watch it because it was like he was an Italian. His mom and dad was like a real Italian family.
I remember you starting that and it being so boring.
Yeah, I loved it. And honestly, if this is an anxiety tip, watch stuff you've never seen. It will distract you so much that you'll forget and your walls will go back up.
You told me that.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Yeah.
And I did it after when I had my own stuff and it worked and I was like, this is genius.
It really helped. So I see her and we literally only have 2 days with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 3 days, but 2 days technically.
Because you fly out the 3rd day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drove for 13 hours, full day with her, fly out the next day to go to work. And after that, we didn't see each other for a month.
Yeah, because you were in Arizona and I couldn't go.
Yeah, that's right. And I couldn't go back to you because of work. And that was it was hard. Arizona was hard on me because on top of, finding somebody I really, really click with and enjoy, I also had to deal with the fact that I had some unresolved family issues that I was trying to take care of and try to understand and be empathetic, but also being hurt a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then just realizing that sometimes we have boundaries for a reason. And it's really smart to follow through that. And I also had something that I had to share with her so I could calm my own anxiety down. Like, I remember sitting in the car crying because I wanted to explain this to you, but I didn't want to lose you.
I remember that.
Like, the relief she took off of my body was so unreal. For the first time in my life, I saw someone, when they looked at me, didn't change their voice, didn't get scared, didn't get upset, didn't judge, just looked at me and literally, like, after I said all that, was like, I love you still, right? Like, I truly, truly love you. And I was just, like, overwhelmed. That's the only way I could say it. Like, it's not what I expected, and she knew that. She knew I wasn't expecting that in a good way. Like, I was expecting her to give up, be like, nope, too much, bye, sorry, I'm not the one for you. Everything else was right, but I can't do that, And you were just there for me. It was pivotal. Like, do you realize how much you won me over at that moment? You have no idea, do you? No.
No.
You don't.
Because it was just me, I guess.
That's true. Are there moments like that or similar for me? It's not to put you on the spot or anything like that or make it hard, but...
There are.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to tell them a story about how you told me you loved me the first time.
No, God.
So you need to think about that real quick, and I'll come back to it. So we're on the phone together, and we're just chit-chatting and whatnot, and she's like, hey, I'm going to call you back. And then she called me back right after that. I need you to distract me. And I'm like, what's up? I've got to go to the bathroom and I am running out of time. And we all know those moments when you're out of time and you're either going to go in your pants or you're just going to sit in it.
In my defense, it was an hour car ride home.
Yeah. So I'm talking to her. I'm trying to distract her. I'm trying to be funny and also like, I don't know, completely goofy like I am. And then she's like, okay, I'm here. Love you. Bye. And we hang up and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she said I love you, but I'm not going to call her out on it. Because before that, which was like our little thing that I started, like we had these moments when we were texting where we were like, man, I want to tell this person I love them so much. So I said, you know what? I'm going to say this. You can put whatever you want there. You can put, I like you, I adore you, anything you want. And I know what I want to put there, but I'm not going to tell you. But I'm going to do, I insert here you. And that's kind of how that happened. We would always say that. So at that moment, when she said this, I was like, oh, she said that.
And then I texted him and I was like, so that happened.
Yeah. But she stood by it. She wasn't like
I didn't take it back.
Yeah, she did not take it back. That was the best part. I was like, damn, that is true love. When you know you gotta poop, the last things you want to tell someone.
Before you know
oh, yeah.
Life or death here.
So do you have any moments like that for me?
I have 2.
Ooh, let's do one. Your favorite one, or your best one.
Okay.
We'll save the other one for later.
My best one, this was absolutely pivotal because he had not met my kids yet. And if he didn't click with my kids, it wasn't going to work for me.
Yeah.
I had already fallen pretty hard for him. I was already really invested in him.
Same.
But if he didn't click with my kids, that was it.
Yeah, like, I forgot how big this fear was, too.
I couldn't go any further with the relationship. So about 3 months in, he flies back from that trip to Arizona. And he gets to meet my kids because they're with me. And they clicked.
Was that August?
Yeah.
Man.
They clicked instantly. The very first thing my oldest did was like give him a big hug, and he like cuddled with him that whole rest of the day. They were watching
Spider-Man,
Spider-Verse,
yep.
And they just cuddled on the couch, and I was like, he was like on his chest and just instantly like love. And that was the biggest thing for me because I was already so invested and I was so scared like that it wasn't gonna work. But
I mean, we were just scared because we were worried that if that was to happen, we would both have to be like, hey, you know, it's unfortunate, but... And I was worried because I was like, man, you know... But like everyone always asks me, you know, how you get them to get along with you. We get along really well, but sometimes just like any kid, they just... You know, they just don't have their... They call them... I say good days, bad days, but they're like, you had a rough day. And like... the biggest thing was trying to, with Ian, constantly play games with him because you always want someone to play with him.
Yeah.
My bad. And then Sammy is just Sammy, man. He just loves his mommy. And then Isaac is really more of a, I want to tell you everything in the world, and you got to listen. But other than that, like, we did all get along. They all hugged me, by the way, in the very beginning. And the reason is because we had FaceTime beforehand, which was pretty cool. Yeah. We didn't say we were boyfriend or girlfriend. We would just FaceTime and say hi.
Yeah, I'd always say this was my friend Eric. And that's kind of how they knew you. And then when they met you, I was like, so. This is mommy's boyfriend.
Well, here's the crazy thing, guys. So I get a hotel for like, I think 2 weeks then. Or a week.
I think it was, about a week.
Yeah, and then she moved into her apartment. And I stay there until this job happened.
For 4 months.
Yeah.
You stayed with me. And
we had all those memories, all the challenges, all the anxiety.
We both have had our fair share.
Yeah. So, what do you think was the biggest thing for us so far? Like, how we have made it so far? Like, what's helped us the most?
I think the biggest thing for us is that we have very similar love languages. And that we both express the same way. So it never really it's never been an issue for us to communicate, like, how much we love each other, how much we care about each other.
So yeah, I don't wish, but I'm very curious. Did I just date people with the opposite love languages?
But I've also seen people with completely different love languages make it work.
I don't know how, because, like, the thing is, like, you're the first girl to not complain about all the things I do for you. Every other girl would be, like, too sappy, doesn't seem authentic, fake, annoying, and then needy. But with you, it's like, you're the best.
Oh, you think you needy? Here's ×2.
Yeah. I enjoy it, though. I love it. You know what I mean? People thought the same thing with you, probably. Like, oh, well, I don't. Anyway, I love it. Like, I love our phone call. I love our conversation. Other than that, I think the other challenge is me learning that they're kids. Sometimes I want to be the diplomatic, logical person, and you cannot be logical with a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old.
I tell you that
sometimes
all the
with a
time.
6. Yeah,
You're like, be a grown adult, and I'm like, they're not.
They need to be. But yeah, that would be my biggest challenge. Other than that, I can't think of anything that was really our time management. I think you learning how much budgeting and planning things out was the biggest thing for you.
My biggest challenge is learning to plan things for you, because I love my wing it life, but you need a plan.
You love that wing it life until it catches you and bites you in the ass.
You're right. We're not going to go there, but you're right.
And then with me, I do like winging it to a point. Like, as long as everything goes, as long as everything flows well, I love it. But when it's messed up, I'm like, I have to suffer?
That's you exactly.
No suffering. None. Well, I think that's about it. And the best part is the story doesn't end now. You know what I mean? Like, the story keeps going. We still have memories and stuff to write about, things to talk about. I think a lot of people like our relationship. I like how, even though we have a lot of negative people, we also have a ton of people supporting us and cheering us on.
A ton of supporters.
Well, without them, we wouldn't be here, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, if the people who were following me didn't follow me and I didn't keep growing on TikTok, same thing for you, who knows if we would ever met? I hope we would. I pray that we would.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah, like, so if you're listening and you made it this far, thank you. And we'll hopefully keep you a part of the journey, and you can keep telling you more things about us and hopefully help you. That is something that's kind of amazing. We've helped people rekindle their relationship, have conversation, learn to be funny, and then probably help people realize, like, that's what happens? that?
The shock in their relationship, like, what?
What?
That does what?
What? But yeah, I feel like you guys are part of the story now, and I hope we get to keep writing about you, and I really can't wait to keep writing about us, keep talking about us. Probably my favorite topic by far.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining. Definitely check out our merch on our link tree. Definitely check out our Amazon links. And if you could do this, and if this is too much, just let me know. Just give us a follow on YouTube or TikTok. It'd be greatly appreciated. And honestly, catch us at the next podcast. I wonder what we should talk about next. We can't say that on here, but maybe we should talk about that next. That'd be funny. You have anything you want to say before we go?
We love you guys. Thank you for being a part of our lives.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye-bye.